You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the May 19th meeting for the LaPorte County Community Corrections Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on this at that point? Which I should have said.
Just one question again. Where you said you're going to come out of what fund? I'm sorry.
CTP. CTP is basically we supervise individuals from DOC on their last 180 days in DOC, and then they reimburse us for supervising them. So it's kind of a fund that we can utilize any way we'd like to.
Okay.
And so I wanted to use $2,000 out of that.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Okay. Seeing no other questions, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Public comment already. Does anybody have any comments or questions or anything they'd like to discuss? Yes, sir.
Question as I read looking at the intake of violations that you have, and number one is violations really struggling. Good quality. You have work in county report these numbers to any other systems that you have in the county to cases correct, work with them to try to prevent, bring these numbers down. The one I'm looking at, it says possession of controlled substance. That's the number one.
Right. Many of the individuals that we deal with do have substance abuse issues, and the number 64 is for 3 months. So while it looks like a lot of numbers, it actually is lower on the low end. We do work with quite a few community partners. We work with Swanson Center, Porter County, Porter Stark, Alliance. So we do, and we also send people out for inpatient treatment. Unfortunately, it's just one of those issues where, as proactive as you try to be, that they're always a few steps ahead of us. So, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess my question is that within LaPorte County, why, you understand why we have that location like that. What type of systems we have in place to work toward that particular issue? Folks going out and drunk all the time. What systems do we have in our county or our state to help address and work with people to get them off of that?
Want to help me answer?
Well, LaPorte County is limited. We don't have any residential programs. We tend to refer people who have serious problems to other agencies. Swanson Center is here. They provide a great deal of support. But to be honest, community corrections has always, this is a difficult population. And I can tell you that our probation, we have about 1,700 people under supervision in the probation department. And we do random drug testing, meaning just 10% of every week we run of all appointments, we drug test. We're still running about a 50% positivity rate. Substance use is very prevalent in our community and every community. So we try to build in what we can. There's self-help, there's support group, there's there's outpatient, there's one-on-one, but there's limited resources. And there's also the individuals who are in the program, community corrections per se, may not be required to go to treatment. So they're going to be, and they go to work, they go to different places, they can have access to it. And there are consequences when they test positive. It's not like it's just, they're testing. But ultimately, it's a very difficult population to try to mitigate that. But there are systems in place as best we can to try to address it. But again, Swanson Center can only handle so many people. Porter Stark services, there's North Shore, all sorts of different facility or programs throughout the community. But, like I said, probation, we got 1,700 people. And many of those people have substance issues. So, there's a lot of people. Little.
Further answer what you're saying, there's some folks that are in emergencies that came from this economic recovery block person. They go through a whole program there, and it's part of their incentive to have gone to that support and modify what sometimes they have to work with. So we're still trying to have care, so living up all that. But as we're looking at the sheets, I'm not sure which sheet you looked at, but a year ago, it was 100 games, possession of violations. And I looked at sheet 4, this year, the first 3 months, it was 60. So there has been some improvement.
Yep.
And recovery is a journey. So
Yes, it is. In drug court, there's a slide that we put up that said most people think recovery is a linear process from being fully engaged in substance use to sobriety, when in fact it's this ugly little swirly line that goes all over the place. So relapse is part of the process, but hopefully people and the numbers that Judge Havens has mentioned has definitely points that out, that there are improvements being made. Does that spark any more questions? It's a tough thing.
I have, well, I guess, read the point of what the issues, what the issues are. Is there anything in place that, is there any other organizations or agencies that look at these numbers and say, okay, here's the whole community. We have these type of issues. What can we do to prevent someone, like, for example, crime? We have crime in the state, in the city. Okay, what are we going to do to try to, what system do we have in place to address those issues of crime, get them, get them down before? Just a question.
That's a tough one.
it's a tough one.
And frankly, my role is after the crime. There's a sequential intercept process that we went through years ago that looks at from the moment 911 is called to the moment the case is dismissed, where can you intervene with substance and mental health assistance. And at the very beginning, you can do education, you can do school activities, you can try to educate the population as to what the problem is and try to mitigate it. But we deal with a human population, and you're just going to have issues as you go along. I don't know what the answer is. If I did, I would be rich and not sitting here. So, and there are a lot of agencies trying to address this throughout the community, and we all do our share to try to better the lives of individuals going through it. That's why we're doing it.
And to add to that, LaPorte High School is adding a criminal justice track to their programming for next year. So it'll be really interesting to see how our young people respond to getting education earlier in criminal justice. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, Any other comments or questions?
That's it. I will say that there are many programs that are in place that most people aren't aware of, and those are directed by Department of Mental Health and Addictions by the state of Indiana, and that is per county. And so Swanson Center is the one in the health center that is allocated to LaPorte County. And so we try to look at the requirements in terms of treatment options.
Yeah.
The number of individuals that we treat, over 3,000, is 3,500 last year. It's inclusive of people not even in corrections. And we do have one of the individuals that are in community corrections as well as on probation, but we also have general health that are seeking treatment. So a lot of those initiatives started with the youth that we have programs for. We are very entrenched with working in schools due to the grant that we are working with providing services and education. There's a lot of programs that are in place. And the hope is that we won't see those changes immediately, but over time, with that education and those treatments being offered, that those numbers will decline over time. And we'll speak for our agency. And there are a number of other agencies that we partner with.
Mr. President, if I may add.
Yeah.
So the county does, for example, speaking with Swanson Center, the county does fund, send funds about $750,000 a year to the Swanson Center to fund for some of those programs, as well as just this past year, we allocated funds for a respite house, LaPorte County's first one, which I believe they're going through the final approval process in Michigan City for that now.
Correct.
So while there's several in Porter County and St. Joe County, this will be the first one in LaPorte County. So there are, all the different stakeholders in the community are trying to work to help that. But at the same time, it's there's no easy solutions there, and
Right.
We're trying to do the best we can.
Okay. Any other comments? All right. Anything from Community Corrections? Other than the date?
I'm sorry, I apologize. I put the wrong date in our next meeting. The next meeting will be August 18th, 2025.
That's because your computers were down. Blame it on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll blame it on that.
So, all right. So, entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. All right. Everybody have a great quarter, a great May and summer, and then we'll see you back in August.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.